Hey guys, how's it going? TRX Traveler Adam here. We're getting straight into this workout. So we're starting with TRX squats, and these are shoulder width squats. Now the key thing here, which you must do throughout, is to constantly push your feet outwards against the floor. So even as I'm going down here, I'm pushing the feet outwards, I'm pushing them outwards. I pause, I come back up, and as I come back up, I'm still pushing them outwards. And at the very top, I'm squeezing my quads as hard as possible. So at the very top right here, super hard squeeze for 2 seconds, and then I go back down and I'm still pushing outwards. I never stop pushing my feet outwards. At the bottom here, when I'm pausing, I'm contracting my hamstrings to try and pull me down. So just as I get down to the bottom, I'm pushing out, I'm pushing out, I'm pushing out, I'm pushing out. Right now, here, I contract the hamstrings and then I go back to pushing out. This is an advanced version, but the reason you contract the hamstrings to pull yourself down that little bit further, it means when opposing muscles contract, so when the hamstring contracts, the quad must lengthen, the quadricep muscles must lengthen. So we're taking them through a bigger range of motion. Now we're doing supersets here. So remember, this is shoulder width TRX squats, and I'm pushing outwards, I'm pushing outwards. You can see I'm really feeling here, I'm really feeling. It's amazing how hard and difficult this is, trust me. Squeezing at the top super hard, and I'm going down super slow, super slow, trying to keep my best form as possible, pushing outwards and collapse. Quick breath, quick breath. I have got a weighted vest on, that's not essential here. And feet very close together here, and we're doing the same thing. The only difference is we don't fully contract at the top. You see how I slightly paused there? I didn't go and lock out and squeeze. I'm still pausing at the bottom. I'm still taking 4 seconds to go down. I'll put the sets and tempo at the bottom, and I'm still pushing outwards. I'm pushing outwards, but I'm not locking out at the top. I go straight back down. The reason is we're emphasizing a slightly different part of the quads here. Keep pushing outwards, keep pushing outwards, keep pushing outwards. And finally back down, and I'll probably think this is my last one. So that was between 8 and 10 reps on the first set, straight into the second superset. It was between probably 4 and 6. I'll put the exact ones down below, the exact rep range. Now, as soon as we do that, we give them a squeeze, and when I'm squeezing here, I'm pushing my feet outwards because we're targeting that outer head of the quads, which gives the legs shape. And then what do? We stretch for 15 seconds on either side. So fully stretching out for 15 seconds. Now I'll just go over what we did there. So that was wide stance squats, straight into narrow stance squats. So shoulder width stance, not wide stance. Shoulder width stance squats, constantly pushing outwards, and then we go straight into very narrow stance squats. And you probably only want about 3 inches between your feet for that. Then we're going straight back into it again. It's a 40-second rest. It's 2 sets. However, on this set, we're taking it to failure. So find my position, and again, I'm pushing outwards, I'm pushing outwards, I'm pushing outwards, and back up, squeeze, lock out, squeeze super hard, and as we're squeezing super hard, you're pushing your feet outwards. You'll feel an almighty burn in the quads doing this. The reason I'm wearing a weights vest is because I've been doing this for about 5 years now, and I'm ready to up the ante. I've just used bodyweight squats to do it, and believe me, even just with bodyweight doing this, targeting an individual head of the quadriceps, it is a real burner. And when you're squeezing at the top, you're hitting all heads. So when we're going up and down, we're pushing outwards because we really want to target the outer quad. That's what gives legs shape and definition. When we get to the top and we squeeze, all the quad muscles are incorporated. Try this and just trust me, it's a killer, this superset, a real burner. So you can see here now I'm going to failure, so I'm just doing partials. We've talked about this in previous videos. When you fail at partials, you hold it and then you go down as slow as possible. So I could only get a few reps out there, and I'm really gassing here. I'm breathing heavy. And then I go to narrow squats, same as the first one, except on this second set, we're taking it to failure. So I'm constantly pushing outwards here, pausing, explode up, back down. Not locking out on this second one. Pausing, pushing outwards with the feet, explode up, and back down. 4 seconds back down, 1 second pause at the top, 1 second explode back up. And I'm failing really badly here. You can see I'm struggling. So now I'm going to do partials. Little pumps. There we go. I'm still pushing out. You can see my face. I'm struggling. Can't do another one. Shaking my head. And I go down as slow as I possibly can, which wasn't very slow because my legs are shattered. And yes, that's all it takes. 2 sets when you isolate a muscle correctly. and you perform the technique correctly, it will work, it will burn, and it will target the muscles you want to grow. So again, we're doing the same thing. We squeeze and contract the quads there, and then we take a nice big stretch, real big stretch. And I like to slightly twist my body as I stretch this, just so I can put a bit more emphasis on that outer quad, which is what we've been focusing on here. So really deep stretch for 15 seconds, and then we switch to the other side. Again, this is the reason I say this is a bit more of an advanced workout is because you can see the technique we're using is advanced, and we're going to failure, which is a form of advanced training too. At a beginner and intermediate level, it's just not required. That's why in my TRX programs, the beginner and intermediate, they don't go to advanced, they don't go to failure. But in the advanced programs, we do, and we do different types of failure, both neurological failure and muscle failure. So we're now on to hamstrings, superset with those. And this is the TRX hamstring curls. You'll definitely be aware of these. Now, what we're doing here, we contract up and we squeeze at the top for 2 seconds. As we go down, we then contract the quads to lengthen the hamstrings. So at the very bottom here, when my legs are straight, right now I'm contracting the quads, and then I go straight back into exploding up. And it's again 4 seconds down. All the tempos and reps I'll put at the bottom. 4 seconds down, 1 second pause at the bottom and stretch, 1 second contract up, and 2 seconds here at the top, squeezing super hard. And that is key, guys. At the top right here, squeeze the hell out of those hamstrings. I mean, really squeeze them super, super hard. Contract the quads, stretch out, squeeze the hamstrings. And you can see I'm starting to feel here. My my face really telling everything, showing all. And again, trying to get up this first set. We're not going to failure. We're saving that for the second set. Back down, squeeze those quads, stretch that hamstring, explode up. And this, I imagine this is probably my last rep from memory, and I'm not getting right up. So yes, that's going to be my last one. Still taking it down nice and slow though. Oh no, I'm going for one more. I tell a lie, one more in the bag. I must have been trying to beat my rep range from the week before to really push it to that. And yeah, that's done now. So breathe, I get up. And again, I'm going to put the weights vest on for the second superset. It's not essential. Again, just ignore this. You don't need to use a weights vest if you haven't been training for years and you don't feel like you're at that level to require one. Remember, always give the body something to progress onto, guys, and always, it's technique mastery preceding hard work. We don't do the hard work first. We master technique first. We give a solid foundation and a good alignment of the body, mastering technique, and then we up the ante with the hard work. In this case, it's using a weighted vest. Now these look really funny and they're going to look very dodgy. It's basically a lot of thrusting, but you need to trust me. Called extensions, hamstring extensions. Now we're not so much focusing on weight here. We're doing high rep ranges, so we're doing 18 of these. Do between 15 and 20 if you can. What you're doing is you're stretching out the hamstrings at the bottom here and pausing, and then you're thrusting forward and bending your legs so you can contract those hamstrings. Forget about weight here. It's not about weight. This is about stretching and contracting the muscle. And by God, you will feel it for the next 2 or 3 days by doing this superset. Stretch out the hamstring there, pause, and contract, thrust forward, and squeeze the hamstrings, squeeze them. What we're doing here is we're forcing blood into them. We're forcing catabolic breakdown. The weight is irrelevant. It helps a little bit, yes, but it's more the mind to muscle connection, which is important in this instance. And you've really got to go in your own zone, in your own mind when doing this, and just forget what it looks like, guys. I know it looks stupid, I know it looks daft, but if you want to build hamstrings, you want strong glutes and you want strong hamstrings, this is a fantastic way to do it with this superset. So again, I'm leaning forward, I'm stretching right out. You'll notice at the bottom I have my feet slightly turned out. That's because I want to target the outer hamstring head, the bicep femoris head. I'm kind of just targeting that for a bit of aesthetics. You can put your feet parallel and keep them just pointing straight forward and target all the hamstrings. I just prefer to put a bit more emphasis on the outer hamstring because that's what gives an aesthetic look when it hangs. So it just makes the leg look a little bit more shaped. It's the same reason we target the outer quads. Now, Again, same principle. What am I doing now? I'm squeezing the hamstrings and glutes super hard, and I'm also just squeezing my back and biceps just to give them a little bit of a contraction. And then we go straight into stretching. Stretch those hamstrings out, stretch them out. Now, as I said on the second set, you know we're going to failure, but you can't go to failure on those hamstring extensions because you could just kind of just keep going and going. Between 15 and 20 is enough to get a lot of catabolic breakdown, a lot of blood, and it's also going to improve your mind to muscle connection and teach you to get rid of ego and focus on stretching and contracting a muscle. Stretch and contract is what builds good quality dense muscle. So again, this is a second set in the hamstring curls. We're going to failure now. So we're going to go to failure, and you'll see this also looks a little bit ridiculous when you go to failure because you just kind of do pumps. Let's reiterate what we're doing here. At the top, we're squeezing super hard. As we let go and we go down to the bottom, we contract the quads because that then lengthens the hamstrings more. And then we're taking them through a bigger range of motion. Bigger range of motion, better muscle development. Why? Because we're incorporating lots more of the fibers. We're not just focusing on the center fibers. We're stretching the muscle, so we're getting either end, maybe an inch or two extra muscle development. Full range of muscle development. Now you can see I'm starting to fail here. So what do? I'm going to start doing partials. So down a little bit, and squeeze back up, down a little bit, squeeze back up. And the burn here gets insane. Squeeze back up, hold, 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 and down. And that's just squeeze my fist because I know the burn is insane. Now you'll notice I'm wearing blood resistance bands as well around my legs. Again, ignore that, it's not essential. I just like to throw them in now and then. There's not enough science to say whether they work or don't work. Science says they do, but science also says they will never replace just normal, solid, good technique training. So as with all these things, I like to do some workouts with them, most of my workouts without them, just to throw them in the bag, and it just gives a little bit of a different feeling as well. Always good to try things, just trial and error, challenge and test for yourself. And if I do find any advancements with them, or if I think they're beneficial, I'll certainly do a video on those too, and explain how to use them and when to use them and what exercises to use them for. So again, back into thrusting, the hamstring extensions. Again, guys, don't be fooled by this. I know it looks stupid, but trust me, it works. Learn to master your mind to muscle connection here and focus on technique of stretching the muscle and then contracting the muscle. Stretching the muscle and then contracting and thrusting forward. Stretch down for 4 seconds, stretch for 2 seconds, thrust forward and contract and squeeze. It's all about the super hard squeeze of the hamstrings here. Really squeeze the hell out of them at the top. You can then practice this just static, squeezing the back of them by standing. You can flex your biceps and push your back, contract your back muscles to bring the shoulder blades back and squeeze the hamstrings too. So you're doing the whole of the posterior, the whole of the back muscle squeeze. But I really encourage you to incorporate these and again, focus on a high rep range. It's between 15 and 20. They're going to feel weird and you do have to find your positioning if you're quite new to these. But these are a very, very, very good exercise and they're just different, right? You don't always need to be looking to lift weight. You don't always need to be looking, well, how can I do it faster, more powerful? First of all, as I always say, it's about the mind to muscle connection. Connect internally and feel how the muscle lengthens and feel how it contracts and how you can squeeze it. That's the key to dense muscle and quality muscle building and also the key to injury prevention, right? What right have you got to pick up a weight or increase intensity if you can't contract a muscle without a weight or without intensity first? It's technique mastery preceding hard work. So I'm probably getting close to 18 here. You can see I'm still stretching, I'm still thrusting forward, I'm still squeezing. My feet are still slightly turned out just to target that outer hamstring there. We go into the same thing and you can see I'm tired. Like I don't kid you guys, this stuff works. This is all I do. That's just as what I was saying earlier. I'm now squeezing the hamstrings and I'm now squeezing my biceps and my back. And then we go straight into it, into stretching them out, really stretching, pushing the hamstrings back and breathing through the nose as much as possible throughout every workout. It's very hard on leg day workouts because you do get knackered. Final little squeeze there, and I hope this video was beneficial. Let me know in the comments, and yeah, get back to me with any questions. Thanks for watching, guys.